Let me check and make sure that we go live.
All I see is the black screen right now, so I'm assuming it should be up. Oh, me and the hay barrel. Okay, whoa. Welcome, everybody, to the BearThoughts podcast. We do this every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Central PT time. Here at the BearThoughts channel, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and let us know how you feeling today. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good night and so far having a good life. As always, we have Corvo Ninja with us. How you doing this evening, sir? And we have a disembodied voice in the background. We got Rollover.
Howdy.
Okay. So, I am not fully awake still. We were even chatting for like 30 minutes or so before this podcast, and my sleep schedule is what you might say fucked, but I will get over it.
Yeah,
God
well, you know what they say.
Yeah, it keeps on happening where I gotta do things in the morning where the time I need to sleep. It's like, yeah, can we stop doing things in the morning, please? Like, let's do them in the evening, late evening. Anytime but the morning. Nope, gotta do it this morning. Oh, God. Oh, God. But don't worry, I got Sensu beans.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna taste, but,
Let me know how well that works for you.
Yeah. I'm definitely curious. I had to go out this morning with my wife. She had a job interview, and while we were out, we went to Five Below and got more of these things for my Twitch channel. You may know what these are.
I have points.
But well, these are the donations. But yeah, now they got Generation 6 out, and they have new things. They got rid of spoiled milk, though. So, I will live without spoiled milk, and I will be happy for it.
That's okay. I can
And
make you some beans that resemble that flavor. Don't worry, I'll FedEx those right to you.
I will be fine, good sir. It is not something that I want to try ever again. But I do have one weird one on the box, and it's old bandages.
That's gonna taste heavily like iron.
Yeah, I'm
And
like,
pus.
why would you like
Infection.
Yeah, why would you want someone to taste some like old infected wound and blood and like I'm afraid I'm a like even if it's just a artificial flavoring of it, I can't help but feel like I'm about to get someone's unwanted disease when I'm eating that. It's
Look,
like
you have finally discovered where COVID come from.
Yeah. This made in China? No, made in the U.S., damn it. Well, okay, make sure it's not made by no doctor that has a god complex. I am the science! Yeah, sure. Goodness gracious. What a week. What a freaking week. And yesterday we did a video, which is not out yet, and hope the audio won't be too bad for the video. But if you're here, stay around to this. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. You're going to want to see it. We did a video on beef jerky.
Yeah, I have some stuff to make some beef jerky here, actually.
Well, we tried out a lot of beef jerky the other day, and I'm hoping the video is still good and hope it's still enjoyable. So if you're into that kind of thing, be sure to go watch the video and leave your comment, because if you like it, we'll do more stuff like that. Kind of wish you were around. Honestly, I would like to get your thoughts on some of these beef jerkies. It was some of them were oddly satisfying, and I wouldn't think that, because if you've had some creatures like I've had in the past, I didn't taste what they should have tasted like, because it's not what I remember it tasting like. It was quite unpleasant last time I tried it, but this time I was like, ooh, nice. So I'm hoping that video does well, and hoping y'all can actually enjoy it. Speaking of enjoying, we're gonna jump into this compensation. I don't know how long it's gonna be, because it's not very many games in my list of things. It's pretty much it's a one title for all of it. But I'm gonna let you go for this first. Okay, last week somebody brought up the title of games that are no longer in circulation or canceled. Now, I was thinking video games primarily, um, but y'all went outside the scope a little
No,
bit for a little bit
not
before
with
the
mine.
stream.
Mine's in the scope.
Um,
So,
so what is your games that were canceled that you still wish were in circulation or never released?
well, one of the ones was Divine Souls. So, and even if you go to Steam now, you can still look it up. You can still see it's there. You can still see the trailer for it, but
Yeah,
the servers aren't live anymore. I loved that game. It was a little janky because at the beginning they didn't have a whole lot of money to put into the architecture. But if they had had the funding, it would have been a great game. And it was
yeah,
basically a MMO RPG. You had When I started playing it, there was 4 character classes. So you had a slasher, you had like a cleric, you had a I can't remember. One was like a mage style, and then one was like a brawler. And
yeah.
each one of them had a specific weapon, and each character was a specific gender. There was no change in your gender. So, like, if you
Yeah.
wanted to be a mage or you wanted to be a slasher, you were going to be female. If you wanted to be
Okay.
a brawler or a cleric, you were going to be male.
Yeah, that's some like that's like some games like Lost Ark.
Yeah, I enjoyed it because there's a lot of fast paced fighting in it all throughout the story. I mean, there would be times where you stop and you talk for a little bit so you know where you're going next to do things and understand why you're doing it. But for the most part, when you leave that person and you start to go down that path, from there to the end of the path, it was just one battle after another, one area after another. Get it done. You could have people join your party, so there could be more than one person in there. You know, you could have if I was playing a brawler and Stealthy was playing a slasher, we could be in a party together. Um, and it had huge amounts of mobs in certain areas. So when you like hit a mob with a slasher, which was basically using like a chain style sword that would come apart like a whip, it would just you just see massive amounts of enemies flying everywhere. Or if a brawler jumped up and hit the ground, you'd see the blast wave would blow them everywhere. I loved the game. It was fun, and for the most part, almost all of the equipment you either had to figure out what you needed to go so that you could gather the materials to create it, or you had to earn it through a quest. It wasn't like you could just go and buy it. You could get skins if you wanted to, to
Yeah.
make you look different, but in reality, there was no need in it.
There was no
Um,
beneficial reason for it.
Nothing but making you look fancy. But I enjoyed it. I got a good little ways in it, and then they started having some issues, so they shut it down for a little while. And a few years later, they tried to come back, and they did for a little bit, but they never got the funding they needed to be able to support the architecture that they needed to run the game properly. So that's kind of I feel bad for them because I think it was a good product. It just needed more infrastructure, more support from the hardware side to make it where people enjoyed it.
Okay, so it was a server-based game,
Yep.
and I'm assuming online. So
Yep.
keeping that structure up and going was more than they could handle.
Yeah, they just didn't have the money. They didn't have the backing, is what it was.
Okay. Um, it sounded pretty interesting, but it definitely reminds me of a bit of old school games where whatever class you played that specific gender, and it didn't matter what what you wanted to play as. Like I did, if I want to play a wizard, I was going to play a female or male. But a lot of games nowadays they give you the options to be whatever you want. But Lost Ark did bring back a little bit of that where if I wanted to play a specific fighter, like a spirit monk or whatever, I had to play a female. And I was like, I won't play a male though. Yeah, they don't have that in this game. So, but if you want to play a male version of it, it was like another style of melee fighter. It wasn't bad. I guess I got what's the word for it?
You got
A
burnout.
custom. I got custom, or I I got
Used to.
lazy,
Or, yeah.
used to it.
You got complacent.
To
You got
there it
complacent.
is, complacent with having whatever gender to whatever class I wanted. It, it wasn't a structural thing like, oh, we don't have the means or the artwork or the infrastructure. Like, no, no, no. We can play whatever gender, whatever class, have at it because we have the financial backing and financial means to allow you to do that. And
Right.
I appreciated it. But it does make make the class feel like it has like a build on the world. Like it's just like not everybody can be everything. That's not how the
Right.
world really works all
Right.
the time. We like it to be that way, but it doesn't mean it's actually that way. Some,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I people can.
There's a few games out there that I played. Um I can't remember all of them honestly. That was just the first one that popped in mind because that's the most recent one that I was playing when it died. Um Most of the other games when I played when I was younger were all console based.
Mhm.
So in reality, even though they're out of circulation, if you're partially tech savvy, you can just about find any of those games and run them on a PC. You know,
Yeah, you can make your own little server, kind of like making a Minecraft.
like for example, Final Fantasy VIII, you can't. It's not in circulation for PS2 anymore,
Mhm.
but I still have it through Steam, and I can play it on my PC. Um,
Yeah.
and which honestly is going to happen probably as soon as the Genshin event's over with.
Well, let's some people, if it's not available to them like to buy right now, it's out of circulation and it's no longer available to buy. But technically it's just it might be out of your price range because I looked at some like 64 games the other day and I about dropped the ball sack and I saw the prices for some of them. Like,
Yeah,
why are they
legacy games are stupidly expensive, and it's all about the rarity. It's how hard it is to get them now.
uh-huh. I'm like, I think my left nut just left me somehow and I
Like
didn't
it,
even buy the dang thing.
like if somebody was to find where I am and go through my PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, they'd probably bonk me on the head to run away with them because I have like 3 copies of Final Fantasy 8 and 2 copies of Final Fantasy 7. Because back when I bought them, the only thing I could play them on because it wasn't available in Steam yet was on the actual PlayStation or PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And God knows if one of the 4 discs ever got scratched, you could be on disc 3 and loading disc 3 and finding out that disc is scratched after 2 discs worth of work will piss you off.
Yes.
So
Which I will have to say this. I think a lot of people nowadays are getting bored with video games. I'm like, you have no idea how big video games are when it comes to how many there are out there available to you. Just go play some old school games.
there's
You won't be
tons
bored
of
for
them.
very long.
There's tons of them.
Tons. All right, so I'm gonna go for my game. Now, when I first saw this, it was a trailer. It never really came like we saw gameplay of it, but no one actually got to play the game like the same me you ever did. And I when I first saw this game, I was super hyped because it reminded me of the Samus games on the GameCube. You know Samus game where you're first person, you're
Yeah,
running around, where you see the blaster in front of you, and
yeah.
you're shooting the bad
I,
guys, and you're
I have
rolling. And
those games for GameCube. Yes.
okay, there was going to be one called Maverick Hunter, and this game, when I saw it, it looked sick, and it's built off the franchise of Mega Man. I am a huge advocate of Mega Man. Let's say I love the video games ever since my childhood. And this was going to be a first person shooter Mega Man and like the most futuristic version of him as if he was like a real person. The suit looked awesome. I mean, pull up the image from Maverick Hunter. It blew my mind. I'm like, this is what I think of Mega Man, what I think of realistic Mega Man. Like the arm transformed, the suit was like was like all robotic, and the facial, it looked sick, and the gameplay reminded me just of it. I'm like, it would look like a reskin of a Metroid, just Mega Man style. And I'm like, I'm down for this.
Yeah.
They already have the architect of Metroid. I think they have Metroid 2 now, or
They
did
have
Metroid 2.
Metroid Prime. They had Prime 2, then they had the other M, and then they had something else. So they've got quite a few of them.
So yeah, they have the architecture for it. And like, it could have been just a reskin in a lot of ways. And I would have been totally fine for it. Because I love Mega Man. And I went down a list of how many Mega Man games were set to release. Like another one, Mega Man Legends. I love the Mega Man Legends series. Mega Man Legends 3 was canceled. Rockman X, Intravine canceled. Mega Man Pixar Man. I mean, there was so many Mega Man canceled. And talk about a franchise I talked about in the past that was a battered child in Capcom's hands, or I don't know who owns Capcom, but they've beaten this franchise to a bloody pulp, to where most people can't recognize it, and to the main developer of the game had to go off and make his own game, and is now one of the most iconic games when it comes to failed game of all time. But the Maverick just sounded like a sick game. But there was another game that I thought of when you were talking about your game. I don't know if you remember it. At one time, there was this one MMO game where you could play as like a superhero, and you can run along beside like the Flash and Superman and Aquaman and all those, like some of those.
Are you talking about the one where you had to choose which abilities you had and be your own superhero? I remember that game.
Okay, that game was canceled and its servers were shut down. There was a lot of fans behind that game. But I didn't recently find out. I've been doing this for a while. You remember that one game I played on stream called Maidens, or League of Maidens?
Mm-hmm.
Where you were playing some female characters with a lot of attributes.
Yep.
Reskin of that very damn game. They literally took the architect from that game and just reskinned it. I'm like, great idea. You know,
yeah.
bunch of very tantalizing women running around with the same powers and abilities from that video game. They just took it. But you know what? We can do something with it. You don't want it no more?
We just make it sexy. They'll buy sexy.
Yeah, that was by sexy. That works easy for us.
I'm gonna diverge from this topic for a minute because I have a question, and since this disembodied voice is sitting next to me, I'm gonna ask the question. What did you do on the first damn mission to my wife last night?
Mission?
Yes, these two chuckleheads decided to play Destiny last night, and whatever he did, whatever mission they started with, scared the bejeebus out of her. I could hear it in here while I was streaming my kitchen stream.
Corvo, the new season, it's a horror movie.
Okay.
A horror movie.
The missions are horror themed. You are investigating paranormal spirits on the Leviathan.
Okay, so I'm gonna need a demon knife, an angel blade, first blade, a colt.
and it drops you into the mission when you boot it up.
Straight out the gate.
So it just booted her in there, and I was like, and there are enemies that you can't damage there too. That you have to just. I fucking went through one last night, and it scared the bejesus out of me, and I don't get scared like that. But yeah, that's what was going on. It's a horror-themed season now.
It's not even Halloween.
I know, that's what I was just thinking.
What time to release it?
The next one's going to be horror-themed as well. And then they're going to do the Festival of the Lost, which is the Halloween, or the festival, whatever. That's the Halloween event.
In other words, there's going to be a lot of scary shit for the next few months.
And then the next DLC is horror-themed.
Okay.
They
So-
are on a horror themed little rampage right now, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with
But
it either.
but stealthy, jump
she
scares
does
make
not
her
do well.
jump scares make her shoot everything, including you. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you want to see me get
You
jump
remember
scared?
the,
Watch my video for Poppy Playhouse.
Remember the mission to get Dead Man's Tail, that really nice scout rifle?
Mm-hmm.
It's all like that.
You know what I was just thinking?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, me and you need to get Dead by Daylight and play it together and stream it. Because people would get a kick out of us.
Ooh, wow, scary.
Oh, look, he's gonna stab me.
Ooh, no, you don't.
No, you don't, bitch. Joke and jive.
That'll work.
However, I will tell you, the only game I've ever seen streamed that bugged me, and it wasn't because it was scary, it was just creepy as hell, was the damn teddy bear game. This fucker here.
Five Nights at Freddy's?
I did see you the
No.
game though.
No. I'll have to find the name of it, but it's about a little kid and his teddy bear avoiding all kind of horrific things going on while trying to find these items to find out what is going on with mommy. Where is mommy? What is the deal? And it's not like, oh, it jumps out as you're blood curdling scared or nothing. It's overall creepy as hell. And I was
That's how they get you.
it's like, I'm not scared, I'm just creeped out.
Like, jump scares don't really do it for me. Like, I went through an entire game and I just didn't get spooked.
I can get jump scared, but that don't actually. Oh well, I guess I call it a jump scare. It's not really a jump scare. It's more like I jumped because I didn't know it was coming. I wasn't scared. I usually think it's kind of hilarious. So I don't know what you call that, but that game was just overall creepy, bro. Like some of the shit you had to find was creepy.
Okay, I thought I found it here. But you're asking about it. Typical horror game. Okay, here, right here. Called Amongst the Sleep. And it's a psychological horror where you are, where you're playing as a kid with the help of your teddy bear and the kid's active imagination.
Yes.
Apparently, he really has
that kid needs a permanent psychologist for life, bro.
Yeah,
there's some fucked up shit in his head. I want to play Five Nights at Freddy, but I don't want to. I want people to hang out with when I'm playing it, because that's the kind of game I like to do when I'm hanging out with people. You know?
Yeah.
I played Fear 1, 2, and 3. There's a shitload of jump scares in there, but I was never the one that was like, oh my god, I can't do this. However, I know grown men that put their controller down in some parts and walked outside and cried while they smoked a cigarette because it scared the living dog out of them. Jasmine played that game all the way through one time for a game challenge because I forced her to do it for the challenge. Not because I challenged her, but and at the end of it, she looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Never again."
Okay, so let's just I want to jump into another topic off of that, but let's get Rollover's one game that he would like to bring back from cancellation.
One game, just one from cancellation.
I can't really think of one.
Yeah, it's not that many.
Probably like, I guess Anthem.
Anthem.
Making Anthem, like, actually putting the work into it.
Yeah,
and
I have
making it a good
Anthem.
game.
I have Anthem.
Yeah, I think they took the servers down for it.
Really? I want my money back, fuckers.
So Anthem, okay. What was that game about?
Basically, you were Iron Man.
Yeah,
you get to pick. You get to pick like which class of armor, and you flew around and kept the world from destroying itself. Basically,
yeah.
It had the potential to be a great game. They just needed some help with it.
I always find an issue with how they usually do graphics in games like that. because it kind of takes it out if it's like they're trying to make it look too real.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I like Destiny because that's a good middle ground.
Yeah, because it's.
Or like Halo, or
Hey, that reminds me.
Halo 2.
Hey, 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 hey.
Halo 2.
So, I may have to get Halo Infinite because I want to see what someone else does on
Legendary.
On Legendary.
That would be fun.
Which Doom?
The one you got in there.
I got a bunch of different ones. Oh, Doom. Oh, I hadn't even cranked that thing up yet. I finished the other Doom,
I've been
the one.
using it to motivate me when I play Destiny. The theme music of it.
The theme music. Oh, dude, that game is. There is something to be said about the creators of Doom. Even if the graphics are not the greatest graphics in the world, they can put a soundtrack to any fucking game and make you go.
Also, some of the songs in there have actual pentagrams in the waves, the sound waves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have some of the sounds they have form pentagrams. It's kind of dope.
They spent time figuring that shit out. Yeah.
A lot of time, and they really wanted to make it fully metal. Oh, all right. So let's go jump into this one because this brought up my thought when you brought this up. What do you think actually gives you more of the horror feel and more of a fear of something? Interactive media like video games or media like TV shows and movies?
I think neither.
Neither.
If
it's a game that I'm invested in, then it's the game. But like a movie doesn't get me.
For me, it's neither. It's the music, the soundtrack to either the game, the movie, the TV shows, whatever it is.
Okay, so you're an audio kind of like the audio makes you tense up and makes.
I told you that story that time about me coming into the band room, right? So when I was in high school, I was a member of both the concert band and the marching band.
Yeah.
One night, they had a marathon of the Halloween movies. And I love Halloween movies. So I watched them all. I stayed up and watched them. So go to school the next day. Rocks on around. My class for music is right after lunch. I open the door to the music room, and you have to understand our music room was kind of weirdly built. So like when you open the door, there was literally a hallway that you went down and then into the wide open space, right?
Yeah.
I opened the door, and as I stepped into the hallway, I hear the theme music for Halloween very lightly, like almost like it's not supposed to be there, you know? And I'm like, what the fuck? Am I asleep? Did I just dream all of this day because I watched this movie? This is really fucking creepy. I walk in there, and apparently one of the girls that plays the xylophone for the band has stayed up and watched it too. So she was in there playing the theme song as lightly as she could to keep from getting caught. And I was like, you just creeped me the fuck out. I'm fixing to start grabbing shit and swinging.
Okay, and for you rollover, it is it's interactive.
If he's into it, is what he was saying.
A game that I've put like a lot of work into, like Destiny, or like but like just a random horror game. I already know what I'm getting.
It's all random horror game.
Yeah, it's going to be horror. Like a Resident Evil game won't get me until I'm almost at the end, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of running. I can't lose this. But like any other game, it really won't get me.
I have to say, interactive is a lot more enjoyable if I have to do something with horror. But problem is, too many games. And I say this about movies too, play too much on the gore factor and the death factor and unsettling imagery.
That's part of horror, though. People die gory.
But it doesn't really give me like tense. What gets me tense is unknown. Like if I don't know what's coming, and I don't know what's after me, but I know something's after me, and I know my life is in danger within a video game. Like Slender Man, when that game came out, it wasn't the fact that there was a bunch of gore everywhere. It wasn't the fact there was a bunch of bodies and chainsaws and guts and everything. It was the fact that you knew that this thing at some point was going to chase you down, and you felt his presence, and you knew not to turn the fuck around. Because if you did, you a dead man. And if you saw him, go the opposite direction. Didn't matter which way, just go the opposite direction.
Well, it's like Parasite. It's like Parasite Eve. You play Parasite Eve, and you know from the jump what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know that there's some spooky, funky shit going on, and that this one person is at the heart of it. And you know for damn sure you don't want to run into her ass. But
yes,
you know the game itself didn't spook me, but the damn soundtrack to that motherfucker would freak me out because they wrote the damn soundtrack to include ambient noises in the game. Like you're running through the zoo. You know there's monsters in the zoo. It's the fucking zoo. There's always monsters in the zoo. And the music's just chilling. There's no monsters right there, but the gate sound slams in the music, and guess where you happen to be at in the game? Right by a fucking gate. It's like they time that shit like they know, they're going to be there right about here, so we're going to throw that in there. And you're just like, dude, stop. You're fixing to make me, I'm going to log off.
Yeah, it tints you up, make you unsettled. It could be music, it could be the notion, and of course, like for me, when I was playing Poppy's Playhouse, it wasn't very much the idea of Poppy chasing me down. It was a fucking stomping inside the fucking ventilators. Hear him go, like stop! All I hear is just him slapping everywhere. I didn't see him. I knew he was somewhere around me, and I didn't know where it was. And every time I turned, and if he was right in front of me, then I was like, oh shit! It wasn't really gore.
It's more the speculation. It's the imagination of where he could be, what he could be doing,
and it sounded like everywhere, and he was fast as fuck. It's like, how the hell are you so fast, you tall, lanky sloth, cookie monster, spot? That made it a little bit more interesting. But if they were throwing a bunch of body parts everywhere, a bunch of blood and guts, I'm like, ooh, people died. I already knew that. It wouldn't made me tense or scared.
I want to do one night. I want to do a stream. I don't know who all I can invite to do it, but I want to do like a horror movie trivia night stream. I want people in chat answering. I want people in the room answering. I want to see how good everybody's trivia is. And then, I mean, I'm thinking that's going to be the starting one, and then we're
out.
One night there might be an anime one night there might be an action one. You know what I mean? I want to do some kind of like a trivia type of thing, get people talking back and forth. You know? Mm-hmm. I want to do that.
People involved.
I have not figured out how I want to do it yet, and because you're going to have to guarantee some people being there, at least for the first one, or else you're never going to be able to kick the tires because you'll be asking yourself the questions.
Yeah.
So I got to get a group of people together that's going to be willing to take time on a day, and they can all get there at the same time, you know, and do it for X amount of time and just see what happens.
Yeah, it's so fun unless you have people around you, like playing marble.
You know, thinking of listening to like a just chatting chat and give it like, you know, horror trivia night as the title, and then everybody just do it, or childhood movie trivia, or childhood whatever, or action trivia, or hell, we could go as far as Marvel trivia now, or DC trivia, or, you know, because they've got so much shit out there, Star Wars trivia.
Okay, speaking of that, give me a second here. I got something recently that you brought Marvel, and I didn't know this was a thing, and I know somebody in that room really likes them. So
mm-hmm. He got up to go get something. So, but yeah, chat. That's what I want to do. I want to get a trivia night together. I want to do some questioning and answering and get a good chuckle out of people that might not know things, or get a good oh shit, they know a lot about that particular character, or you know. The messed up thing is because so many horror movies have been redone, you have to be careful how you answer the questions because it could be more than one right answer. You know, like for instance, the Halloweens. If you go based off the original Halloweens, you're going to get one set of answers. If you go based off the newer Halloweens, you're going to get a different answer. So you're going to have to be clear on which version.
Okay, so recently we went out, got some few things, and on the way out I saw something I just couldn't help but try to pick up. Have you seen these?
No, I have not.
These are mangas that they just released of Deadpool.
Deadpool mangas. Stealthy's gonna go
in Japan.
Ape. Stealthy's gonna go ape.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling about them. They're not bad, but you can definitely tell they're trying to captivate and try to really hit the mark on the head when it comes to what Deadpool's humor is. I don't know. It's kind of weird seeing Deadpool in manga form and supposed to be like anime form. So apparently they really love Deadpool in Japan enough to release a Marvel collaboration and make a manga out of it.
Deadpool Samurai.
Yeah, so these are the two that are out right now. If anybody's interested, try it out yourself. It is kind of weird. He keeps on saying these are jumps. Like he knows he's in a manga, of course, because he's Deadpool, and he keeps on saying jumps. But on the back of it says VIZ. Does VIZ make jump mangas? You think I would know this, but I don't.
I don't know.
I don't think. I thought jump was jump, not VIZ. Anyways, so I know you're a rollover. So
he said he knows you're a fan of Deadpool, so he was just pointing out there is a manga. Multiple mangas apparently now.
That doesn't surprise me.
I mean, it's Deadpool.
Yeah. Sort of a pop culture phenomenon.
Oh, shit!
Which I guess is as popular as Miss Heard was in Aquaman. There should be like a Aquaman girl comp. You know. Oh wait, damn, that's right. She wasn't that popular.
Yeah, so popular she totally got now fully removed from the Aquaman movie. I actually might watch it now.
Well, you know why they did it, right?
Why?
Because of what they're going to write in for the next one. And it's really going to burn her ass. Because people don't realize in Aquaman, his girl to begin with was her.
Yes.
But that's not who he ends up with. He gets another flame later that replaces her. And they're gonna bring her in for the third one. Not only did they write her character out of the second one, they're gonna drop her character altogether and give a new lady a shot at a completely different character with him in the third one.
It would be hard to deep fake, some other actor over Amber Heard's face. So just do that. You really have to have her. But again, we can't have her on set and shitting in Aquaman's bed because the turtle would just float around everywhere and then disperse. Everything be brown.
I watched Supernatural when it first came out, and I've watched it quite a bit. Rewatched it. This is something I learned that I did not know the other day because I decided to do a little research on the actors.
Yes.
Anybody that watched Supernatural knows that the demon Ruby has a couple of different actresses that plays her because she jumps bodies. But the last one she's in the longest. Did you know that actress is actually married to the guy that played Sam? Yeah. So when they did an episode where Sam and Dean get thrown into, I guess what you would call our timeline, where they're actors, they're being called by their real names and shit, and they go to Sam's house and she's there, and they're calling each other by name, it's because that's their real names. They really are married, just like they're playing in the episode. And I was very confused about that shit, so I had to look it up. And yes, they're legitimately married. So I was like, damn. Okay, so all those kissing scenes wasn't that difficult for them after all, huh?
Yeah, there would be no awkward conversation when they get home to their spousal, because like, so how's that kiss for you? It was nice, honey. You kind of missed the mark a little bit there.
Although if I was Jared, I would be questioning this whole drink my blood shit on set. Babe, look, I've told you, we don't do this shit in public.
Oh man. Okay, so I was just curious about the horror theme, because I'm not a big horror fan, but my wife is. So if anybody would join in, it would probably be her. And sorry, the Deadpool was kind of out of nowhere, but I just couldn't help it because, well, anime fan. Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, I don't know, man. I just really want to figure out how to make that work. I want to do that trivia thing. I just don't know how I want to do it yet.
Okay, so let's jump into this one, and I don't know how long this topic, but you brought this up prior to the stream, and I was just curious. You're a programmer, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been known to program a few things, yes.
I just want to know, how much would it actually cost for programmers to do or do a side hustle business, you'd imagine, for programming like little small programs or little, let's say little Twitch functions or things like that.
But see what you're thinking of it as an end user. Okay, what seems small to you, little things to you, doesn't do a whole lot on the screen. It takes a long time to code that shit to make it happen. This is not something like, I don't sit down and write in 30 minutes a little code that makes your screen flash a different color every time this word's said. That alone can take hours, days, even. A calculator. You ever seen a calculator on your computer?
Yeah.
That shit is months of somebody figured out how to write a calculator code. Because the calculator literally has to be able to calculate any type of calculation. And that is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lines of code.
Okay, so it's not something, let's say I go on Fiverr and I go, all right, maybe a program that can activate when this sound is made, or activate when this emote is used. Or
that being said, there's a different in from the ground programming, from the ground up, and scripting. So scripting can be done a little bit faster, because basically what scripting does is use functions that are already natively on your machine, and it just calls them up to do certain functions at certain times, and that can be done a little faster.
You think that's a viable way of making money?
You could, yeah, if you were good enough. But the problem is that for a lot of people, what they're good at coding is a specific type of thing, because it's so in depth. Like there's people that code web pages. The reason they code only web pages is because they're not application coders. They're not application programmers. They're web page. It's different. It's different skill set. So, I mean, you might be using the same coding language or programming language, but it's a different skill set. It's a different mind think on how you're putting that code together. So, if you want to make a viable, like, at home, I'm going to do a little work from the house and make some stuff, you have to be really good at a lot of different types of coding to do that, because you never know what you're going to be asked for. Unless, of course, you market yourself specifically as, I code web pages, or I code emoticons, or I code, file directory apps, or unless you narrow it down to what you are good at, then you can do it all day long.
Okay, because I was being something we were talking the other day on her stream, and this is where my thought came about because it brought it back when you were talking about prior to the stream. She was trying to get that voice to chat thing working on her stream the other day.
Right.
And that's a website-based thing, which you have to connect your Google accounts to use the voice programming.
Right.
And then you got to connect to your Twitch account to get the chat pulled up.
Yep.
And then you got to set up which one do you want it to talk. Like, for Stealthy's case, she doesn't want the Pokemon thing to talk every time it brings up a new Pokemon to catch.
No,
she doesn't want that talking.
Right. She only wants it to talk when an actual legitimate chat comes in.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, like, this is a website. You need to connect to this, to connect to that, and you got to turn off this. And I'm thinking, like, I was trying to look the other day, like, is there just a program out there that I could just turn that shit on without having to go to this website and then do all these things and connect to all these things?
Well, I mean, there's an application. Yeah, there's an application out there, I'm sure, that you could put on your machine that'll do the exact same thing.
I thought that too, and I looked it up. I can't find nothing.
Well, DragonSpeak used to do it all day long. You install DragonSpeak on your computer, and you would just tell it anytime, you would aim it at whatever program the text was coming in at, and you tell it anytime new text come in, read it aloud.
Okay, but I was thinking, like, if there was like a Twitch version for that, and just like you have the Pokemon one, right, where you just put it down in the lower half, or you have a connection to your OBS or Streamlabs.
Realistically, it is super easy for Twitch to put something like that in there because they already have the groundwork built for their own chat system and everything. All they would literally have to do is build a small applet and point it at chat saying, when new text is entered, read. And then put a checkbox somewhere on your, add a checkbox somewhere to your account so that you could just turn it on and off when you wanted to. And that's it. I know someone that if I really, really, really wanted the app to just be on my computer and I just click a button to turn it on, click a button to turn it off, that could code it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit there and do it. It was a pain in the ass as it was just to get the damn code to propagate chat inside of my webpage so that if people are watching on my webpage, they can see live chat there. I can only imagine what it would be like to try to point a text reader at it.
Yeah, because like they have one for if you do donations or bits, it talks and say what they're doing, which is already pretty much pre-embedded to it. And I need another program to do stream shoutouts. I need another program to do my commands in the past, and another program nowadays to do the channel points to do my commands now. I need another program to be able to type in the chat to be able to change the title or change my game in the chat instead of having to pull up a UI to bring up that. And I'm like, there's all these UIs that you need, all these separate programs. I'm like, I don't know how much resources it take, but just shove it all in one, please. And just make it so much easier than having to open a web browser. What if that web page ever gets hacked for that chatting thing? Well, now they have my Google account information and my Twitch account information. That's not very secure. And it can make some people feel uncomfortable, like this page is kind of sketchy. It is kind of sketchy. It's not really like a professional page. All it's doing is just reading your chat out loud for you, using a functionality of Google and connecting to your Twitch account to see a chat.
Right.
And
agreed.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, I wonder if there's someone out there that there's probably someone out there that does simple plugins, simple scripting, but you got to pay for them, and it's like probably like only you can use them. But I don't know. I feel like there's a good way of making little. I know you once you're off your job, you're off your job. You ain't doing shit. Like you are home, you ain't doing no more work, and that's how I know what you are about when you get home. Okay, that's an interesting program or
no,
website.
It's not just a program; it's a website of multiple different ones. Recommended text to speech programs.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, by the way, you know that website I told you about last week about the paying website? Yeah, Twitch was on there, and you could buy viewers.
Wow.
You can buy viewers. That's great. Love to see that. Glad that's out there and available. Everybody can do it. Somebody do that for me. Don't do that for me. I'm joking. Don't do that for me. I don't want false hope. You know how pissed I would be if I ever got blew up because someone did that and then I blew up actually, and I'm like, I never really would know. I don't know how I feel if they told me afterwards. Oh yeah, by the way. I don't know how to feel. I don't know if to be happy
by the
or
way,
pissed.
those 5,000 viewers you suddenly had, and then all of a sudden you blew up to 20. Yeah, I bought those 5,000 for you. Ha 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 ha.
Hope you didn't mind. Okay. So, you got any topic pieces or any? I'm a dry.
I don't have a whole lot left to talk about other than where I'm trying to go with this media server. So.
Okay.
I mean, I'm working on it. I got a replacement CPU for it, and hopefully, by this time next year, I'll be accumulated about $400 that I can spend on drives so that I can get that sorted out. Because once it's up and in the NAS and RAID 5, then it becomes hot swappable. So if a drive fails, I pull it out, put a new drive in, and it rebuilds itself.
Okay. Sorry about that. Have you heard of a channel called Dream?
Nah, I can't say that I have.
Okay, it's the biggest YouTube channel on YouTube for Minecrafts. And this guy has like a simple little like stick character, smiling, dotted eyes. His icon is super simple, but he's a huge channel on YouTube. He's the biggest one for Minecraft. And Lie Detectives, the people that I mentioned to you, just built him a server. And this server, I think he had 1.5 terabytes of memory in it, and each of the hard drives costs around.
You mean petabytes?
It might have been petabytes or terabytes. It was something ridiculous here.
There's terabytes, and then there's petabytes.
Let's see if I can pull it up here for you, so I can actually get the actual information here. Because I was looking at this server and okay, if y'all hear my audio, what's it? Okay, I'm trying to get to the point where you talked about how much money. Like there was I think 730 terabytes SSDs inside of it, and that was just one part of it. And I'm trying to get to the part where he talked about how many's actually in there and how much it costs for right here. There you go. Here, guys, here. Okay. No, that's not where it is. Anyway, so God dang it, where is it at, Linus? Like just like 3 rows of the server cost him 10 grand. And this thing had over 90 sections or 90 hard drives inside of it. And I think each one of the hard drives were I want you to watch this video right now. It's a little too long to watch it on stream, but that's the video right there. You can check it out afterwards. That's a server that I think you probably would die to have. And he just got all this stuff for free. I don't know if your job has that many connections, but I would.
We got some servers that have probably 100 and 150 drives in it, but they're all like either 500 gig or 1 terabyte, depending. But most of ours are not servers that you would want to use for gaming or anything like that, because they're built more for data management, not access and usage. They're basically storage.
Okay, so here it is. It's 20 gigabytes, no, 20 terabytes on on 90 of them, and each one of the hard drives costs $500.
Say that again.
Just
20 terabytes on 90 of them.
there's just 90 of them inside of this server, and each one of them costs $500.
And how many terabytes is it all together?
That's math. I don't know the math for that. Let's see. 20 times 1.8 thousand terabytes. So that's
a
1
petabyte, or right at 2 petabytes.
Yeah. So, and those were that 90 of them for $500. That's $45,000.
That's exceptionally cheap for those drives.
Oh my God,
That's exceptionally cheap.
You bought them in bulk.
He got them for
Exceptionally
free.
cheap, because even server grade 8 terabyte drives that are refurbished, not even brand new, are like $100 a pop, and that's not near 20. I've seen there was 16 terabyte brand new NAS grade drives are like $300 a pop.
Oh God, that server grade stuff are way too expensive, and all he's using these things for is for his backup of his videos from his Minecraft videos. That's all he's using them for.
Protecting his.
He's just protecting his content and his investment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said I need a little mini server for some of my videos, because I don't need that much. But I guess if you're making that kind of money, like, he bought them all himself. But some of the other hard drives he got for free. Like the SSDs he got for free. The server he got for free. Because a lot of his has connections. The Switch he got for free. But he bought the terabytes, and I'm thinking, I don't know how much money you make on YouTube, but damn, that's a lot of money.
Yep.
And I wouldn't know what to think if I ever needed something like that.
It's not about need. It's about never needing it again.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. And he has it where I think some around, I don't know what rate he put it in, because I have to watch a whole video game, but the whole video where he talks about, I would say about $10,000 worth of hard drives are just sitting there, just waiting. They're not actually running or anything like that. They're in RAID 1 or RAID 0 or RAID 2 or something like that, and they're all just allocated for backups for anything happens. They're ready to go to pull that information or to store that information if any hard drive was into the server were to fail. And they're just not doing nothing. I'm like, $10,000 worth of hard drives, not doing nothing for a long time until something happens.
Hey, you can't fault a man for future planning.
Yeah, but that kind of money for failure protection blows my mind. That's a new vehicle. That's a brand new vehicle. That's a house for me.
That's not brand new. $10,000 ain't a brand new vehicle. That's a gently used vehicle is what that is.
Gently used. Oh, okay, well, I don't buy I don't buy vehicles very often. That shows you how much I don't look at them. But it feels like
Go look up what a new F-150 is, and then you'll change your mind.
89,000. But it's ridiculous that knowing that you have that kind of money just for protection. I would just like to see what people could do with that kind of thing outside of just a storage. Like
Oh God! If I had that thing, you know how many virtual machines could be built and run off of that? How many drives did you say was in there?
90.
Yeah, I could put like 90 virtual machines on there, because you're running like 20 terabytes on each one. You would never ever need space on any of the 90 machines. You can have 90 different virtual machines, different flavors of OSs, different everything sitting on that machine, and one cheap ass machine sitting on your desk that you just use to remote to that to do what you want to do.
And then you have to allocate the RAM between all of them. And you have to
That's a percentage thing. Like, I mean, if you got that many drives, chances are you probably have enough RAM in that machine to allocate anywhere from 32 to 64 gigs of RAM to each one of the fucking virtual machines.
yeah, because server motherboards are built different.
Here's the only problem, though. Here's the kicker. Find one that allows you to have the great graphics cards that we're allowed to have in our desktops.
Oh yeah, that is
You're not
true.
going to.
There's no space for it in this server, as far as I can tell.
Servers are basically, for lack of a better term, they are for computing, storage, and central access. That's it. They're not for a whole lot of anything else.
Okay, question. Could you connect your like just say, can I connect my computer that has a graphics card to it and be able to edit from it? Or play games from my computer connected to that server, pulling from it, but then playing on mine?
You could, but it's more work than you want to do.
Another programmer thing, another programmer problem, right?
It's not a programmer problem. It's more along the lines of, okay, so I build this massive server, right? To make the graphics card work the way you're wanting it to work, you can't even use your machine. You have to go buy an enclosure that attaches to this thing to put the graphics card in.
Okay. Kind of like an external GPU holder.
Yep.
Just make a rack for graphics cards. Rack for hard drives.
And
rack for
fire the hell out them bitches. They all better be interconnected.
Yeah, graphics server rack, and then right above that maybe where you put the actual motherboard with the several like a two motherboard or two CPU motherboard inside of it with all the RAMs of sticks and all that stuff, and have them all connected in some ribbon way.
Honestly,
and then
though, we're getting to the point with technology where having to have servers of this caliber is no longer going to be needed shortly. I mean, hell, our desktops already do more than what servers did 10 years ago.
Yeah, but he shows a video or shows some of the SSDs in it as well. It's like it's 4 layers of SSDs all in one hard drive, and it's half the size of those hard drives that are in there, and they're 30 terabytes. I'm like, they're getting smaller and smaller. Gonna get to a point where you need space or a quarter of the space in order to do what that hard drive that server can do.
Let's try this again. I'm making a server out of this.
Yeah, that's really small.
Okay, it's not. It's just somebody flaunting what they've got.
Yeah, money and
do it.
Fuck that. I like to be reserved.
I don't know how much of your videos that YouTube saves for you. Okay, can you explain to me what's the full functionality of having your YouTube videos on a external hard drive server like that, and also have them on a YouTube channel at the same time?
It's
so is there
backup.
real
In case they get taken off of
In
YouTube.
case they get pulled off for like a
Copyright strike or anything.
not just a copyright strike. Hell, it could be just YouTube's not going to store your shit forever.
Yeah.
They're just not, because they have to maintain their hardware too. So they're not going to always, oh, well, Grumpy finally hit 10,000 videos. Let's add a drive so he can put something. Fuck that, bitch. They're finna start removing your oldest videos.
Yeah. That is true.
So
or more at least viewed.
It's a couple of different things. It's for timeout, so videos get removed from YouTube. It's for backup purposes. It's for if you got copyright striked afterwards, you still have a copy of your video.
Or if your account got compromised.
Or if your account gets compromised, you have to rebuild your account. You have a copy of all your videos to upload.
That's what I would have do it for, because just in case my account gets compromised. Because right now on YouTube, a lot of accounts are getting compromised, and like having these Elon Musk face. I just said it a few minutes ago. Deep fakes of Elon Musk trying to get people to buy some bitcoins and other things like that, and or people are going like, "Hey, we want to sponsor your channel," and as soon as you respond to them, they get all your information for your YouTube channel and start fucking with it. That's what I'm worried about. It's like if I ever get a sponsor on my channel and they go, "Oh yeah, we're real," and it looks legit, and I go clicking on it, and there goes everything. That's my only worried about it.
Well, like, also,
But if you have
like companies making false copyright strikes, like what happened with Bungie a few months ago, they had a third party decided to contact them and contact YouTube on Bungie's behalf, quote unquote, and basically like a lot of big YouTubers got their videos taken down because via copyright claims, and it wasn't through Bungie's doing. Like people will just like,
Hi, my name is blah blah blah, and I'm from blah blah blah, and I'm here to inform you that there was copyright infringement by blah blah blah,
yeah,
and blah blah blah. And they're like, oh, snatch that shit down. And then the company's like, we never called you. What the fuck are you talking about?
YouTube as a company has a very, very loose structure when it comes to evaluating what is copyright claimable or not, or demonetizable,
or researching.
Right.
They don't watch the video. They just go, oh, alright, bet.
Yeah. Like, it looks legit. Sounds about right. We don't want to ruffle no feathers. Just get rid of it. Kind of like with Stealthy situation, which I don't know if Rollover knew about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe me, he knows about it.
Okay, so let me run this down for those who maybe probably weren't here. So Stealthy was streaming the other day Twilight Princess on her Twitch channel. Twitch.tv/Stealthy of Jade, if you want to go check her out. And she was doing a game challenge, and she was going through the Lost Forest. And the Lost Forest music started picking up. And it's a well-known song. It's been out since Ocarina of Time on the 64. Been out for a long time. Well, this one music label from Spain that literally took the very same rhythm with the very same coordinates of that song, copyrighted by Nintendo, cited the copyright replay of Nintendo's game, and when you listen to their music, they literally have this Lost Forest music playing in the background with the same cadence, with the same coordinates, and everything, and they're claiming it as their own music, and with their lyrics on top of it. And at the very beginning of the song, it's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my god, this is so bad. How are you gonna copy something from a Nintendo thinking you're gonna be like, yeah, this is totally transparent? No, bitch, you literally just took Nintendo's music and said chorus and just talked over it.
Yep.
It's just a way of making money.
Yeah, and then you're gonna go try to copyright strike a streamer playing the game where the music originated from.
Was it a copyright strike or did it get demonetized?
The DMCA. DMC.
And for those who do not know, if I were to get DMCA during the stream, and I, let's say, would make money during that port of the time, all my avenue that I would have been made during that copyright strain would have been void, and I would have lost it.
Yep.
So Stealthy would have been on a big streamer, been playing Twilight Princess. Somebody like that comes in and goes, copyright, that's mine. And all that money, the revenue she made during that time, gone.
Yep.
And it copyrighted for 6 minutes. And it wasn't even at the very beginning of it. It was like toward the middle.
And not even at the end when they ended it.
Yeah, and when the music was still going. It's like, why not the entire theme? Not the beginning, not the end, just right in the middle. And I looked up the Spain's law. It's not like they have free reign. Like, yeah, this is transparent music. We're allowed to do this. Nope. Spain's law says no to that as well. So I'm hoping Nintendo does take action, but we might have other revenues. But let's hope something comes about, because I don't want this shit to happen to me. I'll be furious even if I didn't lose money. That's annoying.
Yeah, I know.
Stressful.
Trust me, she wasn't happy.
Neither were you.
That's stressful.
No. I was not.
So yeah, that's our week. That's all I got for today. Anything else? Because
Nope, that's it, buddy. I'm good.
all right, well, if anybody has a topic for next week, let us know. I hope next week will be a little bit more interesting. I know this week was a little bit scattered brain, but again, not very much happened this week for the full extent. But I will be going live within the hour. I need to eat. I haven't ate yet, and I don't know how long I'm gonna stream for because let's say I've got maybe like 4 hours of sleep. So
yeah, I've got like a 2-hour stream coming up for the Genshin event, and then that's all I'm doing. I don't know. I probably won't go live directly after this. I have a few things I need to do first.
And if you want to catch us either live, down description below. There's our links for our Twitters, our Twitch channels, and all that stuff. I need to put my TikTok down there at some point. But as always, until then, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life. Much love, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.